What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to talk about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This is a new Disney Plus show. It's a new Marvel show on Disney Plus, and I've seen the first 2 episodes. Have you? You should. It's about Peter Parker, just in case you're wondering which Spider-Man. It's the Peter Parker Spider-Man. And we've got a host of side characters I'm unfamiliar with, which is cool for a change. Instead of having, MJ at his side, he has like Pearl. I honestly forgot the other people's names. Miko. And there's a jock too. I can't remember his name. Who's a smart jock. He bucks the trend. He's a jock that's smart. So, I don't know which version of Spider-Man this is. I mean, yes, I've read Spider-Man comics, but not all of them. So, this version eluded me. The first episode opens up with Doctor Strange and Peter is just trying to get to school, and there's some sort of aliens coming through a time rift, and Doctor Strange has to kill all of them. And while he's doing this, the spider falls out of this portal and onto Peter, and thus the transformation begins. And then after that, we don't get the whole Uncle Ben thing. That doesn't even happen here. Actually, I don't even think they mentioned Uncle Ben. But so luckily Uncle Ben doesn't have to die so that Spider-Man can get his powers again. He's young Spidey at high school age. He gets bit. And he wakes up, but he can't make his own webs. This is one of those Spider-Men. He has to use web shooters. So, which I've never fully understood, because I'm like, then why? Like, I don't fully get what his power set is then. Like, you were bitten by a spider and you got what? Like, what is it that you do? Because I don't see him doing enough stuff that necessarily answers that question here. But I know it's only 2 episodes and we have more episodes to explore, and we have to expand and get character bases, and this is an animated series that really is kind of meant more for kids. It's not little kids though, but I think what they're doing here is a little bit what they did with X-Men 97, where they realized that a lot of the animated series, the Spider-Man animated series, played really well for them back in the day, and they wanted to have another one like that. It's new and fresh. So, but they don't want to pull directly from one of those. So they're just creating another animated Spider-Man series that is family friendly. Norman Osborn shows up in the first episode and offers Peter an internship at his company. So the second episode is all about Peter going to his company for his internship, but also he's Spider-Man, so he has to fight things, and it kind of messes up his internship opportunity, or does it? You'll find out by the end of episode 2. It's fine. He likes a girl that used to be his babysitter. That's the Pearl character. His lab partner is a jock that's actually smart and, bucks the trend. His friend is Miko. Sort of like his best friend, I guess you could say. And Aunt May is chill. Seems inspired by Marissa Tomei, I would say. A younger Aunt May, not an older one, you know what I'm saying? So, Doctor Strange, that voice was clearly inspired by Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, that's the same thing about a lot of these voices, is they feel like they're inspired by people who we've seen in the MCU, but they're not those characters. Like, that's not Marissa Tomei, but it feels very inspired by Marissa Tomei. Doctor Strange, that's not Benedict Cumberbatch, but it feels very inspired by Benedict Cumberbatch. And then I could say the same thing about Norman, is that he feels very inspired by Willem Dafoe, but I'm pretty certain that's not Willem Dafoe. So they found people who will give you shades of and make you feel like they're not doing anything radically different, like Jared Leto with the Joker, you know? Nothing like that here. And then even Peter, because he's young in high school, you could say he feels a lot like what Tom Holland is doing, you know? So the interesting change here is that he has a completely different subset of friends. And and they make sure to let you know that he cannot make his own webs. Like that does not happen. They show you the web shooters and stuff really early on, the little canisters or whatever. So, um, yeah, it's interesting. Um, I like it, and there's no pressure on this to like affect the MCU. It's not going to affect the uh, animated Spider-Man movies. You know, it doesn't have any effect on anything. I didn't like that the audio description does plays neutral with everything, especially for a franchise that has sort of gone out of its way to bring diversity. Oh my god, it's a bad word now. I said diversity. I might also say equity and inclusivity in the same. Oh god, it's DEI. Oh my god. Oh god. Anyway, yeah. So, yes, the thing that we're all supposed to be scared of now, but a franchise that has proudly sort of changed and intentionally cast, made choices, you know, with MJ, with Zendaya, making a choice like that, or even uh, in, you know, just the existence of Miles Morales, just trying to make that choice, the conscious choice. This is a character who celebrates the ability to fluidly um, embrace and the changing, you know, the various different forms of Spider-Man across all of the Spider-Verse, you know, all these different versions of Spider-Man can be anything, and his friends could be anything, and all of the different versions of his friends could be anything, and Aunt May could be, you know, all these characters could be completely different. Um, I should mention the fact that also Dr. Connors is pops up in the second episode, so I don't know where they're going to go with him, but yeah, there's no definition of these characters. Anybody could just be. They do that anything. Anybody could be anything approach, which is what we get so frequently as blind people. Like they're afraid that by addressing it, that somehow that they've made a point. Except for the fact that as a sighted person, you know what it is anyway. So you're looking at it and you get to see whether or not there is intentional, or you get to see representation. You just get to get everything, and audio description is supposed to bridge that gap. So when you make choices about like what to include and what not to include, you are making those choices and basically saying that we don't get it because we're blind. Like we get less information, and it's somebody is filtering our information for us, and they're making choices for us. There's some sighted corporate CEO that just doesn't understand what this is and why it matters, and they're constantly making choices about what does get audio description, what we do deserve and what we don't deserve, what we do get to hear and what we don't get to hear, you know, because oftentimes audio description tracks like this, they have things that they're allowed to say and not allowed to say, and that should not be the case. These audio description companies should be empowered to include as much relative and pertinent information about these characters and go into the depth of what these characters look like. It's important because we're going to be with these characters for a long time. At the beginning of the series, the more character introduction that you can give, the more depth of description, the better, because I'm supposed to know these people for, I don't know, 10 seasons, 20. You know, I mean, when you think about it, it sounds crazy, but go back to, imagine we're in a world with audio description back when Grey's Anatomy hits the first episode. If that episode phones it in and doesn't tell you who anybody is and sticks with it, that's how you go for 21 fucking seasons now. You know, I mean, you may look at a show like Grey's Anatomy and be like, that show's not going to run for 20 seasons. It did, you know, so I don't know how long the Spider-Man show is going to run on Disney Plus. I don't know how long any of these shows are going to run, but every time somebody actually makes a conscious choice to cut out information to make it that we get less, to stand in our way and say, no, you don't get to know that. What it does is it sets up, we're at a constant disadvantage, because anytime, I don't know if you know this or not, but blind people, we don't live in a commune. We don't like live on an island together where it's just us bumping around into each other all the time. Like, that's not how we actually, I know sighted people, and I have conversations with them about film and television, and especially because they know that that's what I got a degree in and what I used to do and what I still do. So a lot of people come to me about film and television, even though I can't see it. You would be surprised. So if I don't have all the information at me, I'm sort of at a disadvantage in any conversation. And then I find these awkward moments where somebody has to explain something to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't notice that. That wasn't in the audio description. Great, thanks. So yeah, I don't know who any of these people look like because the audio description on them is so poor that it's forcing us into stereotypes. It's forcing us to, and I know that that's the best way that they can do it, and is to say, hey, look, that character has dreadlocks. uh, okay, well, you're right. Stereotypically, my brain is going to go somewhere. But, for funsies, I can also just imagine a white dude in dreads just as quickly as I can a black dude in dreads. So I can just choose to suddenly make that a white dude in dreads, and then you've defeated the purpose, you know? But I think with hairstyles, it's like, sure, you can bring up that somebody has a certain hairstyle or a certain hair color, and then you're thinking to yourself, well, we've done that. And it's like, yeah, because nobody bleaches their hair, colors their hair, so it couldn't possibly be that, or white people have never tried to have ethnic hairstyles before, like, so no, I push back on that. I'd say it's not enough. That's not a real thing. So, and sure, you're like, why is a white guy telling me this? Because because there isn't a slew of blind film critics out there. I can't, when I find a guy who is or a girl, or a non-binary, or whatever, and when we get more, they'll be able to talk from their perspective. But in the meantime, I have to listen to people who aren't willing to go onto YouTube and say what they want to say about representation, because it matters to them. Believe it or not, this representation matters to them. Being able to know that they are represented in media. I always bring up a story about a woman that mentioned, a blind woman that mentioned that she had seen like 5 or 6 things with Idris Elba before she realized he was black, and like changed her whole like perspective on everything. Like, and just that lack of, I'm like, how, I mean, to a sighted person that sounds silly, but to us, that's kind of how it's filtered. We get so little description sometimes, it's entirely possible to not know that, you know? So do better. Yeah. It's not a problem with the audio description track. I think it's more of a problem with Disney, because I've seen this before with other shows where they try not to have diversity. I railed on Percy Jackson, which was an intentionally diverse cast, that they didn't mention any of it at all. They avoided it completely. And I think there are choices that are made here as well, but we're never going to know what they are, because Disney won't allow it, because Marvel won't allow it, because they think that by bringing it up, that for some reason I don't know, are you worried it's woke or something? You realize sighted people see it anyway. Like, all you're doing is you're filtering the information that you're giving to us. That's all you're doing. And that makes us, that makes it really unfair for us as a blind audience to be told this is what you get to know, So you didn't think you were coming here today for a in-depth discussion on the Spider-Man, but you got one. So your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Yeah, it's a fun show. I enjoyed it, but I'm not impressed with the description. So, and I don't think it's the fault of the audio description team. I have a feeling there's a writer that came along with this that had notes about what they can and can't say, and what not to bring up. So, that's it. I'm gonna give Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Actually, do enjoy the series, and I look forward to more episodes of it. But I'm gonna give it a B plus. Um, to start off with, I'm interested to see where it goes as a series. We've seen so many Spider-Man iterations before that I'm intrigued, and we'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.